Hi, I'm Victoria, a licensed esthetician and owner of Skin by You in Central Arizona with over 28,000 followers on Instagram. And this is my business partner and husband, Chris. And today we're just gonna unwind as you can see. We have our glass of wine and we're just gonna talk about life, business, all the fun things. And yeah, we're super excited to dive in. Tonight we had a really long night. The baby was literally screaming.
Yeah, and I
all
think,
night.
yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode for us because we just kind of want to open up for the first time. We don't do this very often. We try to make these like really strict and to the point and very businessy, and I think that's great and very informational. But we want people to understand like the dynamic and kind of everything that's going on over here. We want to talk about, it's still going to be very business related, about all the stuff that we're going through right now in the business. Of course, like she just mentioned, we do have a baby who's 4 months old, who's
And a
been
7-year-old.
Yeah, she's been quite the ball of fun when it's time for bedtime lately.
It's been the craziest experience because when she was first born, she was like she's still a great baby, but she was like an angel baby. She slept through the night at 2 months old, and when she was in her bassinet, she literally like fell asleep through the whole night. But ever since we've transitioned her from the bassinet to the crib, it has been so hard. It's 10 o'clock now and she just falls asleep like 20 minutes ago.
So she's just real fussy and she wants to be held, wants to be comforted. So yeah, it's been a new experience for us. But here we are, still jumping back into the podcast. And, you know, we had a lot of talks about kind of just this podcast itself of being able to like fully open up and just talk because, like I said, we have always tried to be like, well, we want to give value. We want to just constantly be pouring in. But we think it is, especially for Victoria, she doesn't have the biggest like personality online always. So I think this is a good place for people to like
introvert at heart.
Yeah, to like better see you and hear you. And for us to like kind of like ramble and just talk about the business and like mistakes and stuff that we're still going through.
And we were talking about showing up in our last episode, and this is a prime example of how
that is very true.
There's so many excuses to
I didn't
not
think
show
about that.
up.
Yeah, if you haven't watched that episode yet, go back and watch Making Excuses, and here we are right now. And I almost tried to talk Victoria out of tonight. Like, are you sure you're okay?
He was like, do you want to do 2 episodes tonight? I said, yes, let's do it. Let's show up tonight.
Are you sure you want to film? But yeah, so here we are.
So if you haven't watched the episode, make sure you, after this,
take a listen or a watch. But yeah, so there's a few things that you mentioned tonight that you want to talk about. One was Google reviews, which we don't hear too many people talking about very often, and we've tried to hit it really, really hard. We're only a year in business. We just hit 56 Google reviews, I think, or is it 55? 55 Google reviews, which
56 after you.
Yeah, I haven't done my Google, that's a long story behind the Google review. But yeah, so we have 55 Google reviews, which is absolutely amazing. And I don't know if estheticians or business owners necessarily like push Google reviews enough.
Google is huge. Majority of my following personally comes from Instagram, but I will say like I've had a handful from Google, and Google reviews are huge. I've had so many clients say that you had amazing Google reviews and that's why I booked.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
I think we forget. I know, we're going to talk about booking software in another video, but, I know that there's some booking softwares like Vagaro. Who's the other ones that does reviews? There's a few that does reviews on the actual software itself, right?
Okay. Oh, Gloss Genius.
Yeah, Gloss Genius does, like you can send out reviews where it just does a Gloss Genius review, which is great. I mean, all reviews are good reviews. They're good for social media, but yeah, for SEO. And when it comes for people Googling you, your Google reviews, it seems very, very simple, but those things are going to push you above the competition because the more reviews you get. And I mean, at the end of the day too, I mean, people don't think about it, is that when you think about when you go out to eat sometimes and you Google Mexican food, you're going to look at who has the top.
I love Mexican food.
That's why I said that. So that's what you're thinking of. But yeah, okay, not Phil Bertos. Okay, but anyways, you are going to look at the places with the top reviews, and then with those reviews, you're going to look at the top reviews and see what people said, or generally what people are talking about on there. So I think, and there's nothing against Gloss Genius, and I don't fully understand why maybe because I don't know those booking softwares enough yet, if I think it's better to leave a Gloss Genius or a Vagaro review over a Google review, but in our personal experience, I think Google is always going to be the number one.
Yeah.
I mean, generally you want to be the esthetician or, whatever, wax or whatever you are when people Google acne near me or whatever, near hydrofacial near me, you want to be that person. And Google reviews, it pushes that a lot, right?
I mean, I don't know, but I feel like Vagaro, I think that they have like a platform where they promote like
and then people can search.
And people can search and view. But like, I feel like overall long term, I think the best bet for your business is to, when somebody is searching microneedling near me or acne, anti-aging expert near me, whatever it is, I feel like it's so much more beneficial for Google.
And we also have to realize that some people search, like myself, I search in Google Maps, the app on my phone. Like that's how I search for anything. That's how I search for a barber. That's how I search for clothing. That's how I search for everything. And a lot of people do the same thing.
What about DuckDuckGo though?
Well, I don't think, I mean, for the people who are using DuckDuckGo, you are not going to find us there. We're going to get there. Same thing with Bing. It's on the list. We'll get to Bing eventually, where we're going to be the top rated results in Bing.
Find me on DuckDuckGo.
But on DuckDuckGo is going to be the next big thing. But so I think that's like, I think that people don't think about it enough. But the reason why Victoria brought it up today is because we got a couple new Google reviews, which for us is just such a big deal, because Victoria's had multiple clients now who come in and say, I saw your Google reviews, which for us, I mean, we knew it was important, but you don't realize how important it is till somebody comes in because of that.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy. Like something that cost you zero money and no time, and just reaching out to a client saying, hey, would you be willing to leave me a Google review? And they're always, clients who are happy will always do it, right?
Yes. So I think one thing that motivated me was I was at 50 Google reviews, and I was like, I want more. I want people to find me and see what people literally have to say about me.
Yeah.
And every time a client comes in, I make it an experience. And when they leave, I make sure that I text them, literally every single person. And I say, thank you for coming in. If you could please leave me a Google review if you enjoyed your experience, I would greatly appreciate it, as it helps my small business grow. And I feel like half of the people did it and then half of the people didn't. And because life gets busy. And I think that's the biggest thing is a lot of my clients are like moms, or they're busy, like entrepreneurs. So one thing that I changed lately, and I literally got like 5 Google reviews within 2 days, was that I incentivized them that you will get $10 off your next treatment when you come in. And you'd never want to force a review, obviously, and make it unorganic. But the reviews that I've gotten I reached out to people that I knew like enjoyed their experience, obviously, and I've never had so many fast Google reviews by incentivizing somebody. And I want to reward those people who are coming in for treatments every 2 weeks or every month, and people who are committed. And it just means so much. And it really does when people are Google searching you. One of the clients that just left me a review literally found me from Google. And they said, your reviews are why I booked with you. So, Google reviews are important.
I do think it's also good to understand, and I know it can feel hard to ask, but clients want to leave. They're happy with you. They want to review. Oh, hey buddy, you going to the bathroom?
Okay, go to the bathroom.
Go to the bathroom.
And we're back. So,
You were going to cheers and then not drink it? Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Sorry, I don't know how much of that we're going to leave in, but our 7-year-old just got up to use the restroom late night, drinks a lot of water. But we can pretty much wrap up the Google reviews, but we do want to just talk about how important it is. And I do believe that's the best thing to send a client. Also, it's something that they know is just trusted. So like a Vagaro or a Gloss Genius, a lot of clients, I mean, it's a new app. It's something different for them. It's a little bit more resistance for them to leave a review or go on and log in and have to say something compared to Google, where everyone knows Google, everyone has a Google account. It's very, very easy. Right? Yeah.
And I feel like when you have those apps, it's like, it feels good to obviously get a good review, and like, it's like, oh, I'm getting all these good reviews, but it's essentially going to one platform, and you want a broad platform. You want, if you're if you get clients from Instagram, that's great, but you also want another avenue for you to get new clients.
Yep.
So that's what we've been really focusing on is Instagram and then Google. And yeah, I mean, always listen to your clients. I always ask my clients, how did you find me? That helps a ton so that you can grow and you can understand what works best to grow your business.
And one last thing is that if you are getting clients from Vagaro or Gloss Genius, we love to hear about it. We'd love to hear more information, because what we're doing here is we're trying to give all the information that we have. We're a very open book about how we've done things, how we're going to do things, and how we're currently doing things. So if you, we haven't personally heard it yet, but if you are getting clients from Vagaro or Gloss Genius because of people searching and it's a high amount, not just like a one-off or like a rare situation, let us know either in the comments here or reach out on Instagram, because we'd love to talk about that. We'd love to talk to you, because I just think it's super, super interesting.
It's cool to learn off each other as well.
Of course,
we've never.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new space for like a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of avenues to go as an esthetician. There's different states, there's different rules. So that's one thing that we're trying to do here is just kind of vomit everything that we know. So anybody they can kind of pick and choose what works for them.
Experienced anything personally, make sure to drop it in the comments so that we can learn and possibly talk about it in the next podcast.
Yeah, we'd love to like mention about it. Okay, so then from there, I guess we can kind of talk about your week. I'd love to talk about some of the treatments you went through this week, some of the hurdles that you've went through, and pick your brain a little bit about that. I mean, you could just kind of go off the top as far as that goes.
I think one thing that I definitely want to talk about is I have amazing clients, but I feel like people are so different with spending these days. I have great clients and they will definitely trust me and spend, obviously hydrofacial or whatever, but I feel like people these days are so different with spending. And I feel like this season feels so different even than last year. It's interesting to me, but.
So would you say people these days, or do you think it's like just a economic time in the world?
I think it's that. I think it's definitely people being a little more cautious with their spending, and even people who have money that I know that they have money are a little bit more cautious. So I've definitely noticed that lately, and I'm sure that there's people that could disagree with that, but that's just what I've been seeing as a small business owner, because some people have the luxury of working at a med spa and people will spend whatever. And we're working on that. We're working on building our dream clientele, which I have amazing clients. But anyways, I think that's a trend. And then also this week, it's been like a mixture of busy, and then I have like a few slow days this week. So it's just it's interesting as a business owner, because you have like such ups and downs, and it's such an emotional roller coaster, I feel.
And we're so new. So I mean, I know last year we made the excuse a lot of like, well, it's only our first year, and like we just hit our first full year and some change mark. But it's also, I mean, this is our second Christmas, but then or Christmas season, like holiday season, where it's like, oh, the spending's up. But then also last year was like our first like holiday season. So it's not like we had like a lot to pull from. So then this year every year it's like since last year and this year, it's just been a whole different experience. So I don't know. We also try not to get the emotional spenders so much. I think maybe we're a little bit different.
Yes, I think that's a huge point, because I think that like last year we just took whatever we could get.
Yeah, we did more specials. Our prices were cheaper last year at this time.
And I feel that one thing that I've learned this year is just knowing my worth and knowing like my value. And I think that's something that a lot of estheticians should practice, is like, you should not offer a $60 facial. I'm sorry, but you are worth way more than that. And that's a huge thing that I've been seeing. I'm like, how are you surviving, to be honest? Because cost of living is expensive these days.
In every state now. It's not just where we are.
It's crazy. I think that's like something that's so important is, as an esthetician, as a provider, whatever your service you're in, I know that a lot of people probably look at me and think, wow, she's expensive. But like, know your worth, not me. Know your worth and know that you are educated, you paid for your schooling. Just because somebody doesn't understand the value of your service doesn't mean that you should devalue yourself. So
there's two things to do there. I mean, either help them understand the value of your service or move on to a different clientele.
Definitely.
Right, and that goes back to us talking about the dream clientele again. But I do think that's a super, super important point for everybody, is that when, I mean, they say desperate times call for desperate measures, which I could argue, you know, I mean, to open up a little bit on this one is that like our Skin by You income, the income from the spa is our main income, right? And we have a few other sources that come here and there, but that's everything we got. So we get desperate times called for desperate measures. We've been there plenty of times and we probably will be there again. But also we got to a point where we just go, I mean, you're there with the clients and you're there with the consumers, and, you know, I help around on the back end, but you also just go like, this is my dream, right? This is what we got into this because you love it so much and you want to treat these clients and you love these people and you want to help them achieve the results that they're looking for. But if say I, on the marketing end, am bringing clients who don't understand that and don't care and just want you for a cheap service, not only are you not happy now because you're not treating the dream clientele, they don't understand it, but then the client's not happy either.
Exactly.
Right? Because then now they're just like, well, I just came in for a cheap facial. I came in for a Groupon facial. That's what I'm expecting to get. So then if you give them everything you got, they're like, well, you didn't have to do all that. I only paid
like,
$50.
exactly.
Then they can almost feel, it's almost an awkward thing where you're like, hey, let me add this on top for you. And they're like, no, please don't, because I'm not tipping.
Definitely.
They're like, I'm not tipping, please don't add more.
Yeah, don't do that. No, I think that's a really good point. And honestly, just from like personal experience, because we don't offer super cheap services, the year that I mean, ever since we started dealing with that, and even from the beginning, I don't know, I feel like we've set the tone for the type of clients that we would like. So honestly, when you know your value and you have higher prices, you wean out all the Groupon people, to be honest. I have not had a bad client experience besides when I first opened, because
we got a little desperate in the beginning.
Because like you're in survival mode in the beginning, and there's nothing wrong with that. If we ran a buy one facial get one free special, and that brought half and half. So if you are like, when you're in building mode, that's okay, obviously. But when you get to the point where you can kind of slowly lean back and start to understand, like, okay, what is my ideal clientele? I think it's really important to wean out those people.
I think it's understanding in building mode that it's temporary.
Yes.
Right. But you are right. I mean, you guys, you people need to understand like how valuable you are and what you bring to the table for these clients.
I see amazing estheticians. I literally will go through Instagram and I see amazing estheticians before and afters, and I see that they're charging like $65 to $70 or even cheaper for a facial.
Because people say, "Oh, well, I don't understand how you could charge more." You know, and it's
and also your follower count does not mean like how much you should charge either. Like that's another thing too. I feel like people get caught up
definitely
on the
does not equate to how many followers we have. We've had our prices the same from the beginning. You know, we did some specials early on, but we've stayed pretty true, and the prices didn't range when we got more followers, because more followers doesn't also mean more
And I
clients.
Also was like, should I be charging like less? Should I are we missing out on people? But then I started to see the type of people that we would attract, and it just
that's a fun conversation too, because when I first told Victoria, even before we opened the doors, of what the price of a facial would be, she wasn't that happy about it. She's like, well, that's a lot, right? And I'm like, yeah, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure there's a threshold where people understand what they're getting. And you also give a lot. I mean, it's not just, we didn't charge a price because we were like, that's what we deserve. It was more just, I knew and she knew what she was going to bring to the table. And I think that was our biggest thing, is at the beginning, she didn't understand her value, which is, I think, why she's trying to speak to other estheticians so hard, is that understand your value, is because I poured that into her, is because I knew that she wouldn't do a 30-minute facial. right? Every facial you gave, you were going to give your life to, right? You're going to give them everything you got. There was no
and you
client.
can't be the esthetician for everybody.
Yeah,
so.
and then that's an important thing too, is that you don't need to be the one for everybody. You need to be the one for your client.
And I think that's where it comes down to, like, what's your expertise? What do you find yourself being, you know, an expert in? And I think we talked about that in another video. So I think that's just really important.
Niche them down. But so the last thing I want to say on that is, like, if you're an esthetician and you're young and you started your business in the past few years, like, hold strong. Like, don't jeopardize all the knowledge you have, everything you're willing to give the clients, as long as you are. Hold on right there though. Let's make sure you're giving everything to these clients, because if you're not going to give them everything, if you want to give them a 50% job, then you should charge 50% prices. But if you're an esthetician who loves what you do and wants to give everything you have, then you should charge according, right? And we've been in places too where Victoria and I have both laid in bed and go, should we lower the prices? Like, should we offer a cheaper special? Should we lower the special even more? And I think one thing that we've always, not always, because we've had specials and that's okay, but tried to stuck to is, like, this is just temporary. We can offer a special.
All the time.
Yeah, don't run specials all the time. Hold true to your worth, and the clients will come. And that's really, really, really hard. You know, and I want you people to know who's watching this is that it's not easy for us with this being our sole income.
And make your specials high. Like, still make them worth your while.
Yeah, don't drop a $45 special.
I just had a client actually that she, like, came in and she was like, hey, she saw another esthetician and she was like, I want to buy product. Do you have Mandelic in stock? So I sold her Mandelic and I was like, hey, like, here you go. Here's how to use it. If you ever want to come in for a treatment, you know, I'm available. And she's like, okay. Like, I'm like, okay, she's never going to book again. And then I run a special and she books the special. And I'm like, okay, like, maybe I have, like, a lead on this girl, and she books the facial and then she leaves her, you know, she leaves the treatment, and I'm like, oh, she's probably never going to book again. And then she books my hydrofacial special, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, we're getting there. And so that client that I thought that maybe she wasn't a good client, like, I'm like, oh, maybe she doesn't want to, you know, invest in her skin, or maybe she doesn't trust me or like me. It literally led to a good client, and now she's booking a third time. So I think
so there is a balance there. So what you're saying is that there is a balance where specials are
trust.
okay. And it is okay to, especially finding somebody new, because then the barrier to entry for them is lower. Because maybe they do understand, but they're also like, is she worth the money?
Exactly.
Right? So then when they come in and you offer a special, they go, okay, she is, right? And this is something that we're working on right now with a new client special, is to give a new client a major kickback to let them know, hey, we will, you know, lose some money early on for you to trust us, right? Because we trust you that if you're going to come in, that everybody can benefit off this. We can treat you the way you're expecting to, but the barrier to entry is lower for you. But there is a balance there, right? So it's just making sure that, like I said, when you are running a special, you're not running it for 10 months out of the year, because then everybody knows.
Or for $50.
Yeah, they're just going to wait until the special comes out again. And
I think it's like getting leads that have been watching you for a while, and like,
it's a good time to grab them.
It's a good time to grab them. Like, I think that's the key to that.
And then it's hooking them.
It's hooking them.
Well, I think that's a great topic to kind of end on, right?
Yeah, definitely. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them in the comment section below. But thank you so much for joining on our episode. We look forward to seeing you again, and we hope that you guys have an awesome day.